All right, everybody, let's get to a Thursday, and our first winner for the day is Bob Walters. As I said, every Thursday we're going to give away some books, and I said first person in the chat would get a book, so congratulations, Bob Walters. You need to connect with Miss Stephanie on the Discord, and she will send her your address, and we'll get you a book. Give a couple more away, and I'll give away a 90-day subscription to any harmonic pattern collection you'd so desire at the end of the session. So let's get it on in here for another uneventful summer session, but that's okay. This is where things kind of come together to get ready for what should be a pretty, I think, bumpy run going into the next 4 months, get to the end of the year. Certainly, we're going to break it up into a couple of different, probably break it up into 2 and 2, between like September and November elections. We should see, I think if you're going to get pressure on this market, it's going to be in the next 60 days. So the longer we go and the further we get away from this time, probably the more likely pressure, or at least the threat of nastiness befalling the market abates. It really, this is it. There's a lot of signals here. I think there's a lot of different things that are on the horizon that will at least maybe bring a new dynamic, but our signals, things we're seeing currently, I mean, crypto, general markets, have really been rocked this year, and we're trying to shake it out. And as everyone knows, on Tuesday, we were coming into a critical trigger signal on HSI of trying to get out of the zone, which we did. Here's Ethereum on the Coinbase chart, and I think this is probably the market to follow. I think that is, I think if we're going to look at crypto and we're going to focus on one or two cryptos, I think this next cycle is going to be more about Ethereum for the obvious reasons of the news they have coming up. Some news events came up on that whole Ethereum thing should be happening relatively soon. In about 2 weeks, you start to see the wheels turn from proof of work to proof of stake. Whatever that means, I still say focus on the signals. And our signals are still for Ethereum. They don't change. We're type 1 reaction. 2485 is still target 1. It is still target 1. And with this most recent HSI signal, that is probably the most constructive confirmation that we have seen in this entire bear cycle. So for that, we've got that going for us, which is nice, as they say. But I really feel like if we stare at Bitcoin all day, we're going to be extremely disappointed. I mean, Bitcoin has done nothing. And maybe that's a sign of the shift of there's Bitcoin. That's an ugly chart, although it did register an HSI. And some of the things that we talked about, and I'm going to highlight that in a second, if you look at that range versus Ethereum, Bitcoin, it just is a dud. Beautiful patterns. There you go. That's the Binance chart for Bitcoin. This might be a critical area for some kind of continuation of this sideways move that started back June 21. And now we're, 2 months, 60 days later. And we haven't made that much progress, but maybe that's the change in the nature of what the future of Bitcoin and what Bitcoin's role in crypto in general versus Ethereum. If Bitcoin is gold, they say Ethereum is oil. Maybe. I think we're going to see a lot of what's truly going to happen if they're really going to pull off this Ethereum merge, if they say. Someone says, quick shout out to the chat. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Great to have everybody back. I just think it's, we are there, and here's the other part with everything that we're looking at. There's no room for even a stop loss. Let's put it that way. There's no room for further downside. If we're going to go into a type run reaction on Bitcoin, not only does it have to occur off of the HSI that just generated, but check out the candles. I mean, this is amazing. Again, like what we saw on Bitcoin futures, here's the spot price on Binance. There was the signal 3 days ago. And then, perfect check back. We saw that and we talked about that on Tuesday. Now we make progress. What do we need to see? We need to see a 3-bar breakout on Bitcoin. We need to see a 3-bar breakout. Basically, give me a close above the yesterday's high. Any close above 22,000 in Bitcoin, then you could be back into your stair-stepping, grinding higher phase where whatever this was, whatever this single massive down candle was, it's just a one-day event. There's no continuation. Notice that no follow-through to the downside. And you generate this HSI signal, and it is all happening right back at your major XA level of the deep crab. Take a look, deep crab, going all the way back to last year. So just incredibly significant harmonic levels, triggers, price action that then says every day is critical. Even a little bullish candle. I would love to see this thing just tick up. Maybe a couple $100 higher every day. Again, the higher lows are more important than the higher highs. But once we crack and break out, okay, then that really kind of affirms what has just happened. Because for Bitcoin, we did have a check back. We did get a signal that is a secondary signal since the June 21 low. There's June 21. That's the first higher BTC reading, okay, in a while, in quite some time. Kind of that secondary level. Last time we saw a higher level was back here, February, then to April. And this April failure shows you what I would be looking for if this is going to fail. If this is going to be a dud and Bitcoin is not going to do anything as a result of the last 2 months, just focus on what happened here all the way back in mid-April. We did a perfect check back, some consolidation, and then about 4 days later, you were lower, and that was a major failure. Again, that is kind of what you're looking for if you think this is going to fail. If the whole scenario is not going to work out, we'll know, in a few days, next week. But the trigger's there. I'm looking. I'm not even in Bitcoin. I have a little Bitcoin. I still have some Bitcoin, but I'm not. That's not where I'm going to put my money. Putting my money into Ethereum and some of the S&T coins. Okay, Bitcoin still needs to get above that downtrend. Going back, let's get it all into clear display where, to get above that downtrend, it still takes us into September. And it's still only a type 1 reaction. That's the other thing, is that no matter what goes on from this point here, we're still treating target 1 as the maximum upside level. We want to, but we want to see this thing start to react. 2 months in, not much to really go on with Bitcoin of even being tradable. It's not tradable unless you're scalping for $1,000 or $500, but there's better vehicles than that to do so. Let's look at the total crypto market cap, because those indices giving us a better composite view of what's happening. Here's total. And that too did generate. We did have HSI. So we're seeing it across the board. That makes this next week. How are we going to finish the monthly close? That's something else to take a look at, even on the singular bar. All of this beginning to line up where it has meaning. Let me remove these arrows. Let's look at that monthly bar. Tell me what it's doing. You know, the June thing, was that the exhaustion? No follow through after June. July, okay, at least it was a bullish candle and it stopped going down. But a week from today, let's look at the calendar. Yep, a week from today, September 1st. And what you need to see is another bullish candle. I mean, I don't care if it doesn't close above last month's peak at 1.111 trillion, but you certainly want to see it close above the open, which is basically 106. So this has to rally, I don't know, 50, maybe, yeah, about 50 billion. Maybe if we could even get like 100 billion higher, that would be helpful. So what does that say to us? We have to get this to pop now. When we bring all of this together, we need to see this start to run immediately. We need to see this start to run off of the last signal. And maybe Bitcoin is something good to look at because it's such a dud that it would then show us that it's, there is something going on. Let me go back to that Bitcoin chart quickly. Here it is. So what's it going to do? Because if we waffle here and waver and we can't even get out of that zone, let's say on the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, you have to maintain that uptrend. So if it breaks down over the next 2 or 3 days, it goes under the 20,800 low, that would be something. That would really be, I would say, okay, Bitcoin's not going to do anything here. But so far, so good. Careful, though. Careful. There's a lot of things setting up here. One moment. Anyway, let's stay with watching that. Let's favor opportunities more in the Ethereum area. If there's going to be long side opportunities, okay, can we check back against the low? Because that's 1578 where the daily trigger is. Will we check back? That's another good question, because this is a secondary reading off in the larger zone. This was a beautiful check back, 1040, 1060, whatever it was. But even if we check back, we still don't want to take out the prior lows. So if you see this thing under 1500, that's probably a failure. And it wouldn't take much time for us to just say, step aside, or if you're looking for a long position in here for the move back to why does that say 2,900? Where's 2,400? There you go. Go off the Coinbase feed, please. But this is so make or break. It's squeezed. I'm favoring the upside, though. Definitely favoring the upside, and I still say this is type 1 reaction. But again, if you find yourself down here soon, then we know just to step aside. Now, there are a few major coins that have done some impressive things that are to be watched, and of the biggest, Binance Coin is definitely one of them, where we have not only big patterns going on. This has, as I said in the Tuesday session, Binance Coin has probably held the strongest throughout this whole bear market. And we did get the bat pattern with HSI not only on at the hop level here, but in that first reaction, we actually already registered a bullish candle without getting to target one, which was at 252. It's like that. It doesn't matter what market, whatever, what pattern, this kind of action is strong. I have to say that, where if you're not going to form HSI, or sorry, you're not going to get the reaction and go to target one, and you form HSI a little bit higher, and then it tries to break out, well, this is another one to watch. I see that Binance Coin did try to get above 305 today, and this would be telling for the overall market. I think there's probably a handful of these that are true leaders, and the rest are followers. The rest are laggards that are not gonna pop until we get movement in Ethereum, we get movement in Binance Coin, and those related instruments. This is Binance Coin probably would be the strongest of all of them, and the thing I'm looking at is anything on Binance Coin above 337, 340. That would make me feel a lot better about the entire space. It's difficult to get these individual reads sometimes. I'm always monitoring the markets, and I'm just looking at the individual price action. But this is, again, another interesting position, and we're still, this is still probably something where within the next week or even the next 2 days, I mean, if we can pop for 2 or 3 more days, I would say, okay, this thing is trying to continue off of the low that started all the way back here. I mean, take a look at the bullish pattern on Binance Coin, that alternate bat, your XA113 off of last year's pivot low was right there at 204. And now you have a bearish pattern, small bearish pattern in that zone that gave you a reaction. But as I said last time, this can be a good sign of setting up a bearish pattern for a small reaction, and we'll wait for it. But if it busts out of the pattern, that would be an amazing sign of strength. It's kind of tough. Here we are in the middle of the summer, kind of snooze volatility, if you will. A lot of people on vacation, low volume, but these are where the little movements have big significance. So Binance Coin, I want to see it above 305, and then your larger levels for the whole market above 340. I would say the whole market's going to open up beyond there. Also, take note, maybe I should make a list. Okay, all of these that are trying to break out of their downtrend, even if we were to take it like that and try to encompass all of these pivot points from there, from that all-time high, something like that. A lot of these have busted out to the right of that downtrend and signaling their first bullish HSI to the right. Take note. Take note. One other one. Solana. Sitting back in this zone. This is why I don't want to sleep on these, because you have, look, big daily. I mean, there's daily, there's weekly. We're registering. Look at Solana's just yesterday or 2 days ago. I mean, Tuesday was the day, and yesterday did check back. Where yesterday, okay, the low 34.28, and then you come back on yesterday 30.32. That's close enough. Look, let me give you guys blow up the candle so we can see all of that. There's the signal. That's what we were talking about on Tuesday. We're back into the zone. We retested that range, that low level there, 34.32. That day's low was 34.24. I'm good for that. You're just sputtering here, but I'm telling you, the breakout above, say, 36.60 would be big, significant. There's a lot going on. It doesn't look like much. It actually, if you aren't going to draw any patterns or you're just drawing some trend lines, you would say, why would I even bother with this garbage? There's nothing really there. And I think, that's not, I don't want to dismiss anything here, but we have massive patterns. Look at the weekly pattern for Binance, for Solana. And even if it's going to take time, I don't want to ignore that massive pattern. Now we did have, check this out, weekly HSI did register an overbought reading on the weekly. What does that mean? Well, it means that the oversold rally, okay, that's what this was, going back to June 21. Let a lot of air out of the tires, if you will, to get into an overbought condition. But we don't have anything with amplified. Nothing's confirming that, where to me, when you don't have amplified RSI that matches up with HSI, it's a pause. So a pause here on the weekly, not surprising. We're already seeing that reflected on the daily, where you went from 44 to 35. But this is where every day counts. And certainly you're scraping your lows. You do not want to see Solana go below, say, 33. So I think this is extremely low risk. And if you wanted to wait for the breakout, if you wanted to wait for that to break out and close above 36.50, then I would say you're back into reaction mode. And where does that go on reaction mode? Target 1 is 121. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy, and it could take months. But that's how critical it is. You're scraping the lows here. To me, this suggests supply demand is at a real fight. You're at the maximum level of decreased demand, where the supply is getting slopped up slowly. The buyers are trying to come in, defend all of that whole 35 level with all of the patterns and the targets, but there's no room. There's no room for error. The other thing that does impress me about this secondary test, and I mentioned this Tuesday on a number of different coins, is that amplified RSI registered oversold, and it matches up with this HSI reading. That's the first time it did so. The first reading there back in June, first of July, had no amplified confirmation. Also significant. Show you one or two of the ones that we've been following that have come back, which is here's synthetics. This is another one, massive bat pattern. We've talked about this. Okay, did a little push off of that HSI and then went right back to another bearish reading. I know on the daily, let's go to the daily. Yeah, the daily was this. The daily on synthetics not only had that weekly, but the daily went exactly to target 1 and then right back down for a type 2. So this isn't a delayed type 2. That's okay. Trying to get out of the zone. Hop level 144 has been tested. You're trading 293. This was at $4 recently. But this should be the next pivot point off that low at 274. Here's the other one. Remember Chili's? And what we've been saying about Chili's the whole time? Okay, it's now hit. This is the thing about harmonic patterns that I don't worry. I mean, I said this was over before the check back. This is just coming back on a check back. That should be over for now and should see either a pattern or another bullish HSI before I even consider it. When we were down here, Looking at Chili's, we thought, all right, target 1, 17.8. It went to target 2, now coming off. So keep it on the radar. Okay, it's a nice push thrust up, but I would look for some kind of type 2 pullback on Chili's, or another pattern develops from here. Not a biggie. I mean, it just reaction over there. I mean, reaction's over for what we need to do. Push it aside, keep it on the radar. We'll revisit later. And that's different from, say, like Cardano. Cardano hasn't done much. Although, if we look at the weekly, yeah, go to the weekly is probably better. Weekly, massive, I mean, that's just massive. Massive 886. That's all that is on the weekly, like a lot of them. All right, 886 is right there, pretty nice, right on the money. I mean, it was dead on. 43 cents is the 886. All-time 382, Cardano is 145. But it's not going to get there anytime soon with this bearish HSI going to press it for a while. Take a look at your readings again. Here's amplified. There's no confirmation. So I would say this is just a pause. Sideways, grinds. Maybe it lets air out of the tire by going sideways for a few weeks. But weekly, okay, that did register, and you're to the right of the downtrend. But you need a signal. You need a pattern. You need something to come back on this consolidation before Cardano could really even be considered. But much like the other ones, you did register the check back. Take time. Taking time. Most of these are still in long-term reaction phase. Quick question, what happened to the 886 at 10K on BTC? Still valid. Still a long-term weekly target. And again, we've been saying this for a while, that most of what we're looking at will not be, any kind of possibility for the massive return or the massive signal really doesn't come in until the end of the year, early January. And I have referenced these patterns before, especially the first bad pattern in Bitcoin after the 2017 cycle. All right, we had a massive pattern. We don't have a pattern on Bitcoin except for on the daily. The weekly, this would be more like this pattern's more like Solana right now. All right, we're in the dead of summer, trying to break this downtrend, and then you look at how this went sideways for months. The trigger was December 18. You didn't break out of the downtrend officially till like February. So 2 months, 3 months sideways, and even after you broke out, you took another 6 weeks before you even did anything. This is what I'm thinking would be a really nice thing to see in crypto over the next many days and weeks, where you see this kind of action. It's going to be really difficult to notice anything from this other than the fact that you have some prior signals. But I started out today by saying I want to see maybe a series of higher highs, higher lows, maybe even some small squeezed candles. But that is definitely where I think we are. And this could go and do a grind higher, very tight range every week. But if we print small bullish candles every week, it does so. Every day it does so. It's going to be significant before we get any kind of breakout moon phase hype cycle. So all of that, most of it says, at a minimum, we're going to need more time. But just like you were down here in Bitcoin at what is it, about 3,000 or so, you're at a point where you have a pattern, you have triggers, you're breaking out. And what if you were bearish down here? Okay, you would know that something much worse would happen if Bitcoin was going to break below these signals. That's where we are. That's why I'm saying the monthly close is important. The next several weeks, even if they do something like this, okay, that would be extremely positive. Don't expect fireworks yet. That's not where we are. We're trying to fight a lot of overhead supply, a whole lot of repercussions from the first half of the year, and we're trying to establish major support signals. I think this is more like where we are today, the 2019 bottom, than say back here in 2020. 2020 was a big flush down and rebound and go. I mean, just took off. So get out of there. It has to get out of its own way and start to climb higher. That's where the natural buying, you're going to see it. The natural buying for the type 1 reaction will occur. Also, so what about that 10,000 BTC all-time 886? We would still do type 1. I would still want to see type 1 come back for type 2. We talked about that on Ethereum. Ethereum, we were saying 680 was its all-time 886. It went to 880. Just got to take it in chunks. We're still in type 1 reaction phase. And all of that is triggering another continuation signal. That's what this week has been about. Really quick, I want to show some dog coins. Here's Shiba Inu, who tried to do a little breakout. If you go to your daily, check it out. Big deep crab off the low. But if we know the harmonic pattern framework, and we do, it's type 1 reaction. No HSI yet, but we still look for a reaction and then wait for the return to develop. And if you break it down on a 4-hour, go to harmonic pattern collection. We just did a real nice bullish bat pattern, type 1 bat. Even this one on the 4-hour time frame, doing in terms of time, not doing what we traditionally see in traditional markets. A lot of the type 1s that we see in stocks or the futures will hit the level, come up, and then go back down. Crypto has had, for whatever reason, a delayed effect on getting to target 1, and that's what happened this morning. And now I would look for that to come back down. So treat that as your type 1 reaction, and we're already in looking for a return phase. No HSI triggered in any spot here except for on that first test, and you had ideal check back, but that reaction's over, and we need to come back down on the 4-hour chart. And again, daily chart still down here off the reaction of that deep crab. So this stuff's going to take time, no doubt. Let's look at Sandbox and some of the Metaverse, because here we are again. Back down, we're retesting terminal bar of this massive crab pattern. Or was this a bat? This is a bat. Sandbox is a bat on the daily, I think the weekly too. The daily breaks it down better. First confirmation was there. Then we run into a bearish HSI that always means more time, or look for the next one, and here you go. So now we have the next HSI, and this one looks like it's one it wants to check back. Did it check back yesterday? Almost. That was Tuesday. No, that was Monday. Monday it triggered at the low 1.0165. Next day, basically perfect check back. I would consider that checked, but no breakout on Sandbox. So we need to see that thing break above, say, 108, 108.50 to get it going again. And target 1 is substantially higher. I mean, you can't, it's not even on the chart. But that's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is still type 1 reaction, but there's literally no room for error. You're like pennies away from and certainly a close under $1 would change the game. Would say, okay, that's going to take a lot more time. But with the patterns, daily and weekly, and I still say Metaverse is a lot better than other coins where most of them have broken out of the downtrend, even though it looks terrible. I mean, it's not doing much. It's not really demonstrative in that reaction, but maybe it's a delayed reaction. And again, I come back to Chili's as the example where you had pattern structure, you had confirmation, but it just took more time. Let's look at that. There you go. That's a daily chart. But look at how long the basing process happened. Okay, here's the completion of the pattern. You did not really break out of that zone until 77 bars, 77 days later. And certainly, if you wanted to measure that from the confirmation point, which is really the actionable area to consider, before you got out of the zone, it was 46 bars. And then you made your run to target 1, target 2. We'll see what happens on the way back down on this return. But this is, I think, what a lot of crypto is showing us. It's a delayed reaction. It's a delayed type 1 response that is going to take more time. And we will see. It's definitely not what I think fits with everyone's expectations, which is people are looking for the moon. They want every move to be blast off, go to 10x, and that's not where we are in this whole cycle. All right, one or two more crypto. What was the other one? Mana. Decentraland doing the same thing as Sandbox. We did trigger HSI, and it is just a touch above that prior reading. And we could see a retest. I mean, it looks like it'll hit super tight range. The low is 80.43 cents. You've almost retested that today. You're within yesterday. Yesterday almost got it. But here's the deal. Your risk is extremely limited underneath that 80-cent mark, anything under 80 cents, and then you're going to just say, let that go. It's going to take a lot more time, or some kind of pattern would need to develop. But this is how close you are. And I would say at this point, with being so stuck in this hole, wait for the breakout. Wait for the 3-bar breakout above 85 cents. Then that should get you going. And this next one, if this is the secondary confirmation of HSI in a large zone, then once it does get above 85 cents, forget it. It should pop right back above $1. It is, look, it's summertime. People are not glued to the screen like they used to be. It's going to take time, but we are there. The arrows are there. Patterns are there. Your weekly 886s are there. All of that. Let me show you one that's, I think, been probably interesting with multiple patterns. This is Loopring, LRC. Remember this. Massive bat pattern. Great. But look at where it completed. All the way here. Yes, you saw some nominal reaction out of the zone where you go from 65 cents to $1.30. That's a double. But then you came all the way back down. You had no follow through on that whole range. go back into the zone, and you form another small pattern. Now look what happened to that pattern. Because this just triggered a type 2 confirmation that look, a little difficult to see all of this. This is why I want to walk through, but the pattern itself, incredibly significant for being a secondary signal within a massive bullish pattern zone. But even this did type 1 up to 46 cents, then came back, literally kissed XA for the type 2 exactly. But we're always looking for confirmation on that secondary test. So this point just triggered 2 days ago on Loopring is the real actionable area to consider, where if this is going to go, not only are we looking for it to go off of that HSI for a Loopring, but we go for target 2, 54 cents. It's all there, and I like the first couple of candles I see. These are very small, seemingly insignificant, but trust me, every little bar, every little grind higher, higher low, higher high, positive close builds on this argument, and that's really what it is. We are dealing with an argument of what is the total supply-demand push and pull going to do. We have even the same deal in some of those crypto stocks like Riot and Mara. Here's Riot Blockchain on your weekly. Okay, we had a big bullish pattern on the weekly, just like the rest of them. I mean, massive all-time 886s like that on Riot Blockchain. Had the signal, though, confirmations all the way over here are here several bars after the pattern completion. That didn't happen. That came in at 455. This thing doubled, now coming back. You have a bearish HSI now trying to come out of the zone this week. It probably will, where maybe you retest that lower zone again. But it's going to take more time. Still an amazing pattern. I mean, this is just this is the stuff that we look for. Massive patterns, but on the weekly time frame, we're not surprised if they take 5, 7, 10 bars, maybe 10 weeks. That's what you're dealing with, off of a pattern that is almost 2 years in duration now. 1 second. 1 second, please. Let's keep an eye on all of those. Oh, the final one I wanted to show everybody was this little guy, Anchor. And Anchor, just another one following type 1, type 2 framework. I mentioned that last session. And it came right back into this deep crab zone. I walked through this last time. Look, there's the completion. There's the actionable confirmation. I go over these because I want to reinforce the concept that without confirmation, you have a structural zone. Yes, that can give you reactions, but where the real movements occur are with the indicator confirmation in the zone. That's what Harmonic Trading Volume 2 is all about. And the framework of, regardless of how amazing that pattern is, we're still looking for only a type 1 reaction. Up to target 1. Type 1, target 1. Type 2, target 2. And then you come back down, which it did. It went right up to 5.4, got slapped right back down against this crab pattern. Now we're trying to bottom here at target 2. That's actually a good thing because that's probably exhausted on that reaction. And we have HSI. All of that's at 3.6 cents. You're now trading what? 4 cents. I'm looking for this thing to set up, to get ready to go and go to 7.2 cents on this next move. This is where the reversal should develop, but it could take time. But you have all the ingredients there. Everything you want to see for that to set up is ideal. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on any of these. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think you have to be checking in on all of these on a daily basis. Really quick, just show everybody. I think that Volume 2 book is something everyone needs to take a look at. Go to Harmonic Trader, folks, and become a basic member. But I just want to show you the Volume 2. Once you register, basic members page, get with the trials. Get with, of course, HPC for TradingView. There's no reason why anybody that's spending time in here to learn harmonic patterns should not be accessing this trial. HPC at SR-analyst. Send your username, get a 14-day free trial. But this is the thing to look at. Go to Volume 2, please. Harmonic Trading Volume 2. That's the indicator book. That's where you learn how to bring together patterns with your larger indicator confirmation strategies. And it looks like this. Oh, get back here. Come on. This is the simple demonstration of what I'm talking about with all of these. We want to see a pattern, completion, with an indicator signal. I used to do exclusively RSI, but then as we moved forward, and a lot of the experimentation that I've done improved upon the RSI formula so that we get better readings with patterns. Yes, we're looking for 2 patterns. That's the RSI BAM strategy, but generally, this is the thing to consider with any pattern, where you want to see this pattern complete with an indicator extreme reading. I know there's a lot of people that are trying to draw by hands, just do it manually, and not a bad way to go in terms of learning how to, learning the dynamics, the ins and outs of the patterns. But let's say you're trying to do that and trade off of those levels that you manually trade without some kind of RSI. And RSI is probably one of the most popular indicator readings available on any platform that you need to have as a requirement to define the extreme. The pattern is the structural extreme. The RSI indicator is the indicator extreme. It's the range extreme that helps to reinforce what the structure is showing us. RSI, it definitely, when it completes and forms, it shows us a lot, but we don't get as many signals as we might with, say, amplified RSI. Let me blow this up. One second. Take a look. This is what I'm saying is happening now. We do have a lot of double readings on current crypto. We have HSI, singular confirmation with the pattern. All of that's really good. Also, we do have, if we go to our chart for, say, Bitcoin futures or Grayscale Trust, any of those. This is for the eSignal platform. All right, this one did the check back. We talked about this on Tuesday. And you have amplified that has just registered, literally just registered. There's HSI. The arrow shows up there. But nothing here yet. The bottom indicator is standard RSI. That's available on the HPC Pro platforms, MetaTrader, eSignal. But that has yet to complete on the RSI. I would love if we had that complete, but it's not there yet. Still watching, but still in this larger zone, as I talked about on Tuesday, the fact that this has not violated the hop level, this is Bitcoin futures again on the daily, is significant. Doesn't look like much, doesn't look like we're doing much because, again, dead of the summer time here, but if we can just hold above, say, 20,000, 20,800, that's the make or break for this whole thing. We failed this on Bitcoin futures or even Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That's another one. Again, here's the weekly. It's a massive structure, massive Gartley check back. On this one, on Grayscale Trust, I'm trying to just bring up relative strength. Here it is. Isolate just that. We did get oversold on the weekly Grayscale Trust, the Bitcoin GBTC, and that's standard RSI. It's a complex structure, which should get us at least up to the 50. Those are the RSI band rules. That's all in volume 2. Okay, it's very slow to develop, but that's a positive signal. Maybe you can't see that. Let me highlight it. It looks like this. All right, nice W formation. That tells you it's a complex stabilization going on. And that's, for me, that's what M and W patterns are all about. They form that structure that gives you, it's more than just a straight line. It's again, in the extreme, think of it as a complex stabilization where you formed an inflection, you confirmed the inflection, and now you stair step up out of this zone. Get that on your chart, because that's just another way to look at the larger action. And then we just monitor. I'll tell you the thing I'm looking for. This is the top indicator, is amplified RSI. This is on the eSignal version as well. And you're invited to try all of those pro platforms for free as well. Just get on the basic members page and check that out. But here's amplified. So this already stabilized, come out. What I want to see over the next week, 3 weeks, get going back up and get to the 50 level at a minimum. Get above this reading here around 40. And then get up higher, 50, some kind of thrust, and then come back and check it back later next year for the secondary retest. I've mentioned this before. I'll mention it again. Most of the crypto things that we are looking for and we're following are all generated on weekly patterns. So this is going to take time. It's going to feel like it's moving in slow motion. What's the other one? Oh, here's the other one. So I wanted to show this Ethereum Grayscale Trust. And let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the daily, because I thought this was interesting. I don't think I've ever showed this yet. Okay, there's your daily. Oh, I don't have this. 1 second. Bear with me. Okay, great. We were down here at the all-time 886 on that Ethereum trust. There you go. Looks like that. And that was at 7.54. Still trying to get out of the zone. Here's your downtrend. Again, another way to just generally draw it. Trying to get out of this downtrend. Anything above 15 on Ethereum, the Grayscale Trust, should get you going back to much higher levels. Draw it like that. And not to mention, look at Ethereum Grayscale Trust, what it did. Okay, you had this first reading. It's kind of tough to see because that's when it started trading. But the fact that we had a secondary level, secondary retest, and check out that W formation, that's another complex reading here where it should at least get you up to the 50 level and then come back down for the larger long-term signal. That's what it is all about. So constructive, no doubt. Trying to break out. I mean, on this slightly different instrument, trying to get above that level, get above that zone. Let's come in here for next week. Really critical, really critical. So, hey, let's give away another book. First person to put in V3. V3, you'll win a book really quick. Let's get through that. I'll give away a couple more books here. And at the very end, I'm going to give away a 90-day trial to any of the Harmonic Pattern Collection programs you want. LC, you win. LC wins. All right. LC wins, volume 3. You folks need to go to the Discord, please. And where can I show that? Let me go to basic members section and then click the Discord link and get in there. Okay, and then contact Miss Stephanie. Let me make sure I'm not showing any. 1 second, I'll show you where Miss Stephanie is on Discord. Looks like this. Here we go. So go to your Discord. Here, this is our actual Discord. All right, go in there, and then where are you? Where's Miss Stephanie? Right there. Okay, click her name there and send Miss Stephanie your address to get those books. And then let's do one more, okay? Here's one. Next person to put in HT will win a volume 3, and that'll be enough for the day for the books. And I'm about to give away HT. You get a volume 3. HT. I need to see HT. Those 2 letters. HT. There you go. J Newbold. J Newbold. You win the last book of the day. And then in about 2 more minutes, we're going to give away the 90-day HPC. Every Thursday, we give away books, so come on back and join us next Thursday. A couple people have some requests. I'll look at those. Sure, why not? You guys want to see... You want to see what? Neo? Lucid? What? You guys want to look at EVs, don't you? Tesla? Here's Lucid. Okay, Lucid, I don't know why. Oh, okay, very nice. Lucid, I like it. You must have the program. Another great example. Big pattern. Confirmation coming in delayed, but now you have a small pattern inside the larger zone. I kind of like that. Right there at 16. Looking good. Someone wanted to look at Tesla because of the split today. Even though it's split, nothing changes on that. Here's the deal with Tesla. The type 1 bat pattern completed. There it was with the check back right there. This is your type 1 reaction. And we have an extended butterfly, kind of ugly, but look, I think this is in a full return mode. And you come back for the retest of the type 2. If we go out to the weekly on Tesla, look at that bat pattern. Massive bat pattern. No HSI up here yet. I mean, you had it on the bullish side for the bullish pattern here at 208 now. Sorry, I got to change my numbers. But we have to watch this. If this breaks the uptrend, the reaction trend line, we go directly into the return phase. Like that. So you find yourself trading 290, 295. You're going to come back and retest 208. Retest that bat pattern. We're in the dead of summer, but every day, every week is critical. Neo was the other one. You must have the software as well, because that's another beautiful pattern. But look what happened here. Deep crab on your weekly. Maybe the daily is a little bit different, but no confirmation. There's the completion. No HSI. And you had a reaction that ran right into a bearish HSI signal. Maybe we come back to about 1562 for the retest, unless there's something on the daily. Yeah, there's bearish pattern. You still have the same bullish. Okay, bullish crab pattern on the daily. We just saw what the weekly is. This is kind of like crypto too. We have a small bearish pattern inside this larger bullish zone. You're trying to come back down. You did form your first HSI somewhere around 1870. So it looks like it could take some time to chop its way out of here. But look at the downtrend. Are you out of the downtrend? Like that? Almost. Trying to fight it. And that's not even the right trend line. Here you go. I need to draw it from the top. Like that. And I need to make it right. You need to encompass all of the peaks. So I didn't really draw that properly. The way I would look at that is major support 16. And I love that pattern. I really do. But when you you go into like a 30 bar window here and you go sideways and form a bearish pattern against the bullish pattern, there's 30 days. Or you form a bearish HSI against that bullish zone, it's going to take more time, which it does. Even there, I mean, you're day what, 107? Probably more like 110. Really critical. That's I think that still needs some time, but this is kind of the thing with a lot of the major patterns that we've been looking at, where if they do give us this retest, let's say in the next 2 months we retest a lot of the pattern zones that we have looked at from way back when. Well, most of them would be secondary tests, and they would confirm those zones. So we have to see how this shakes out. I say be patient with this. No need to jump into there yet. You don't have a signal that matches up with, say, a retest of that zone. You're not below this downtrend line. I mean, if we were over here, and again, most of these downtrends terminate more like in November, December to get to the right over here. We got to watch how this development shapes up, but I would want to see this thing over here first. Couple more. Yeah, CCL. That's one of our 3 ideas I mentioned. And here's another one. It's a big on the daily. No, it's weekly. Weekly bat. Look at this bat pattern on CCL. Okay. Dead of summer. Traded as low as what? 7, 8 and change. But taking its time to come out of the zone. I still think this is going to be a while. You did register another daily HSI against that crab pattern. So maybe we can get out of here. Can you get out of the zone on CCL, Carnival Cruise? Maybe. But it's going to take time, and you're going to sit and wait during the summer, and it's going to be frustrating because it's going to seem like, oh no, this is just going to go lower. It's going to go bankrupt. Why would it bottom out, or why would it, put a low here at $10 when it hasn't been able to do anything all year? I mean, this is another one. Is this down? What's this down? 80% off the all-time high? Oh, more so. What's the all-time high on that one? Obviously pre-COVID, but $70 to $8. So, 88.6% all-time correction. Sure. I think that's, again, pattern is coming first. We are then lining up the individual signals, which are critical. I think next week I should probably highlight some of the things I'm personally looking for. I mean, Carnival is a beautiful, look at all those patterns. And we have another one. We're sitting right on the big weekly bat pattern. This does have some things that it didn't have a week ago, where you're getting up here. You're trying to get above the 50 line. And so far, so good. I mean, this is amplified trying to get up above the 50. You're still deep in the zone. Your XA level is 1050. But look at HSI. Trying to go and accelerate above from its own 50 line. So I would say that's probably in a stronger position this week than last week, or even a couple of weeks ago. And that's the thing with crypto. That's exactly the thing with crypto that we want to see. So traditional market, slower, a little steadier, showing us some things before the price moves. And that's important. You always are going to see the indicator move before the price. That's especially with amplified RSI. One or two more. What's Washington Mutual, WSM? Williams Sonoma. Okay, here you go. Williams Sonoma weekly shark pattern. Look at that beauty. No confirmation on that. So here's another one where target one has been reached. HSI is getting up there overbought, but maybe we go a little bit higher and then register HSI, but this is still reaction. That's it. That's all I'm thinking on that. And shark goes to a 5.0 and then maybe back down. There are a number of these that are like Tesla's the other one with that weekly. Same thing. Showing us type 1 reactions and still needs to come back down. I think that could give you an inflection sooner than later. And look at your amplified. This is where amplified and HSI complement each other. You're overbought on HSI. And you're overbought on amplified. It's just hitting today. So anything at 162.45 on Williams Sonoma, and if it runs into resistance, it looks like it is running into resistance already. I mean, yesterday you pierced it. You couldn't close above target one. Today you can't get above the prior day's high. Be aware of that. This could give you an inflection. This is where the framework helps you. The framework, we know it's a reaction. We know the larger opportunity would be on the retest or another pattern or something. So that's like a straight shot off. I'll show you one. I told you guys I got out of this and I really regretted it. It was probably, it was breaking down on me, but it was really stupid because I didn't wait for target one. And that's Mosaic. But now it hit it. Okay, look at this. Another shark pattern on Mosaic. I got really frustrated with a bunch of positions last week and dumped them. This was one of them. And then it went another $10 higher. Yeah, I didn't need that 10K, but that's okay. 62.20 running right into a wall. And this as well. Let this come back on a type 2 and then explode. That's it. Yeah, I'll look at NASDAQ. Look, let's look at the Qs. I think it's even smoother than the futures. Because the Qs, they printed a bunch of patterns. Q. Right, remember this? Let me blow it up first. Bat pattern. We have a shark down at that low on the TradingView program. Then we ran into a bat. Never got to target one off of that shark. And the target one on the shark is a 50%, not a 382. So it's a little bit higher. But we have a bat pattern that is now kind of controlling the action. And I would still say you're in a type 1 move back to 303. You're trading 317 on the Qs. Roughly for the indices, that puts you back down around 12.4 and change. I do find this interesting that you are oversold, but trying to do an inflection. No confirmation on amplified. So still, anything that pops out of here is a reaction. It would be a lot better if this amplified came out of the oversold zone. A lot of these are flashing reactions like we saw in the last week with crypto. Small patterns inside of big zones saying, okay, go do your reaction. But against the larger bullish zone, it's going to mean a lot more time to consolidate before you see something really explode. And I still say with this smaller bullish pattern, what you're really looking for is something to come down maybe retest even deeper into the zone. And then when it does the return move, it blasts off. That would be for me a breakout sign. We're still in the type 1 reaction off the bearish pattern. That could be 2 more weeks. I can't do any of those stocks. All right, Dan M, TVK. What is TVK? TVK? Oh, I don't know. That's a Canadian stock. Yeah, there's a bat pattern. No confirmation. Little reaction. 25.85 to 24.17. That's a quick read. There's just nothing there. Look at. I'll show you guys something here. Here's Uber. I want you to get Uber on your screen. Why? Whole bunch of patterns on the weekly, daily. Uber was a massive winner. Okay. Massive IPO. Does form a bat pattern for us. The daily is a lot better. Back-to-back structures. Now, here's the deal. Uber, like a lot of these, I mean, how many of these have we seen today? How many of these patterns have we seen where we know we're in a reaction phase still, and market is probably in a down reaction phase until it can hit their target ones, or even better, come back and retest these patterns from June, please? From our standpoint, if that happened, then the next retest is a massive opportunity. Here's another one, Twitter. With all that garbage noise going on Twitter, you tell me about the patterns. You tell yourself about the patterns. What's Twitter going to do? I don't know. What's Elon Musk going to do? I don't know. Have another kid? Probably. But Twitter is a type 1 reaction that ended about 5-7 days ago. And then it's coming back down for the full retest to 34.53. I wouldn't touch it until it got to 34.53. But we're just reading it with all of the craziness that's come out of that story and all the narratives that the market mavens want to bark about Twitter. The opportunity is down at 34 to 32 for reaction only. The major reversal will be on the retest back down here, regardless if the guy buys it or not. It's definitely setting up where it's following the framework in ideal fashion. Now, maybe this is a weekly thing too. Yeah, I knew it. It was a crab. It is a crab. It's still a crab. Twitter is a crab on the weekly, okay, trying to do the type 2, but not there yet. No confirmation yet. There's your type 1 reaction, straight up to 47.82. Arrow comes in, you hit your target, you're done your reaction. And then you come back, you retest the XA at 34.14, but no confirmation. You did bounce off of it, but I would be looking for weekly HSI, and it's nowhere near a bullish reading. In fact, looks like Twitter needs to come all the way back down again before we would even go on it. That's the thing where not sometimes, a lot of times it's like, where the hell is this market going to go? With all the garbage that's getting spewed out every day, one day I find myself saying, it's going to zero. The next day I'm like, it's just going to keep going up forever. And then I come back to the patterns and the levels and just ask myself, is it type 1? Is it type 2? Do I have a pattern? Is there an ABCD? What are the indicators saying? Because when I come back to that series of questions on asking myself, where's the price action within all of this craziness, then I'm able to get some better answers in my brain than trying to assess a myriad of opinions and financial gaga that doesn't get me anywhere. So put that in your hat and smoke it, or pipe and smoke it if you choose to do so, because this is a convoluted time. I'll look at that, Chewy. What's there? You say you must have the software. If you got the software and you've got a pattern, do share. All right, there you go. Thank you very much. Who was that? Who put up that Chewy? L Thinking Cap. I like that. L Thinking Cap, nice one. Because here's another beautiful pattern, but it's only a reaction. And there's ways to trade that, but it's, I would prefer to have confirmation. Your weekly Chewy looks like this. Your completion was there, confirmation, but you ran right into a bearish HSI. So that tells you more time, if not retest XA, and then give me a signal maybe later. Even with a lot of these beautiful patterns, and that is certainly a beautiful pattern. Look, there are still a lot of bag holders that put money into this at 70, 80, 90. It never got out. And now you're 40. You were as low as 20. But the larger opportunity is going to come on this downdraft next retest. And like crypto, are you out of the downtrend? No, you're kissing that and you're coming back down. I think most people, if we took the patterns out, most people could say, yeah, that's a failed breakout of that downtrend. I would think 31.95 on Chewy is probably an area where you want to look and take. HSI is already at your 50 point. This thing's on the verge of really breaking down. And then you come back to the oversold. Beautiful structure, beautiful pattern like we have seen in crypto. But it's going to take more time. And this could be many weeks. It could be a full retest, but still needs time. One or two more. Water, what was that? WTER, what is this? The Alkaline Water Company. Whoa, okay, you must have the software too. Thank you very much. And I do appreciate that. If you do have the software and you've got some massive patterns, do share. Please, do share. Beautiful. Massive shark pattern. Massive shark pattern. But I need to highlight some things, okay? You can't really see it. I got to blow this up. Look, that's the sun icon came in all the way here for the shark. But even if I'm looking at that, my first confirmation wasn't until there, until, what's that, 54 cents? So you come back all the way back down, you're retesting here. Anything on the daily? Weekly, you did have a check back, but okay, daily's better. There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Daily deep crab. Trying to get out of the zone. You're running into another HSI, but this is where it's failing. This is also what you want to see with crypto on the weekly, where they've registered some bearish HSI, but you go sideways for a couple weeks and then break out. I kind of like that. But be aware that this is just reaction territory up to target 1. If you try to force that beyond target 1, shame on you. Do not even think about it. I would go limit order, sell to cover 117.60 or whatever the next HSI is above that zone. Water is backed by Shaq, and Mitch loves water too. Okay, great. Awesome. If Mitch likes it, and Mitch has been on it. He's had some really great reads lately. So, all right, I'll put that on. I haven't seen that before. And if I like ASML, I'll love Intel. I don't know if I like Intel. Intel was not doing well. There's ASML when it chips. Massive bat pattern. Okay. Okay. Okay, here's another secondary HSI reading in a massive zone like crypto. Down to the hop area. And then the secondary HSI. But I will tell you this, with this kind of formation, that is the floor for ASML at 520. Should not trade under 520 because of the confirmation that you have. This secondary confirmation, there's your first at the hop level. Beautiful reaction at 445. Okay. Secondary reaction. But look, bearish HSI in the bullish zone tells you more time. So you, in those cases, you look for the retest, look for another next HSI, which you got yesterday, checking back today, and now 657. And I'll throw up Intel, although I know Intel's chart was problematic. Are we back down there? Yeah, Intel, look at that. Not much there on Intel. I know that's an ugly, yeah, Intel's ugly, period. No pattern. What is HS? Nothing in HSI. Look at Intel. Jeez. There's zero. There's nothing there in Intel. If anything, folks, let's revisit the massive ABCD. The 1-2 that set this off. 1, come back, and 2, and you're done. So Intel, you stay away. There's nothing there. That's the definition of having nothing. There's no opportunity on the long side or even short side. No pattern, no HSI. 1 or 2 more. You guys really got me. BYND. Beyond Meat. Oh, I would never eat this garbage. Ever. But that's my personal opinion. Would I buy the stock? Maybe. If I get a bullish HSI on the weekly. It kind of reminds me of Peloton. But no, look. Beautiful pattern. It's not ready yet. You need HSI to come back down. You also need amplified RSI to come back down and register. So I wouldn't touch that. Yes, it's a beautiful chart, a beautiful shark pattern, which is also available in volume 2. But no bullish confirmation here. And you run into a bearish HSI, and look what it does. It goes from 40 to 27 real quick. That's what I mean by taking more time. It's definitely not there yet. It could be weeks away. Peloton, same deal. Look what it's doing. Another all-time sharks from the beginning of IPO. It goes to 150. Now it's 10. Ay, ay, ay. How many people are holding that one? I would have said probably 6 weeks ago this had a chance to do something. But look, there's HSI. Nice. That's what you want to confirm the opportunity. But it runs, what, from basically 8? What's the low? 874 to 14, and then it's done. And then now it's coming out of the zone this week. So not good. Not what you want. Beautiful pattern, but not ready. And as we've seen time and time again, the signal could come weeks, if not months later on some kind of bullish HSI. Here's Snap. Look at these sharks. Whoa. Look at all of these sharks. You do have confirmation at 1223. But why? I'm not there yet. You got, with a lot of these that are not to the downtrend line, to the right of the downtrend line, it's kind of like that. I would say you're 2-3 weeks away. I would rather buy this at 12.50 or 13 than 11. You know, I mean, look, if you're willing to risk that prior low, because that's it. That prior low at $9, $9.34 should not be violated. It's brutal. One more, last one. MAME stock, you got it. Bitcoin, not Bitcoin. Bed Bath and Beyond. Yes, it is a type 2. Did you get anything? No, but look what's about to happen here. HSI is about to give you another bearish candle, another bearish arrow. Patience on that one. What about the daily? Yeah, even your daily. This is why you wait. This is why you want HSI. You want the software because that's Bed Bath and Beyond. And yes, it had a beautiful pattern structure. If you're looking for another opportunity, not until it comes out, much like it did last time. Here, last time it came out, and look where it came out there, and then checked back and stayed in that area for 10 days before it did its insane run. Be patient on that. Look, even the greatest narrative stocks, you could have a tip, you could have a crew of people that are going to try to run it. But if you don't have HSI, you don't have a pattern, the natural dynamics are not at your back. Okay, this is the last one because I did see something in this DraftKings. This is a type 1. It's over. Daily, it's just an ABCD on DraftKings. But I was looking at this, I think, a few days ago. Look, another type 1 reaction, but this is over. It's like this. Went from your ABCD at 13. Target 1 was 1876. The high was 21. That's fine. And now you have clearly rolled over and you're going back to 13. Put that down. Who put that up? Kalins, mark that down for me. 13 retest, and we'll see how that goes. So absolutely. Visuals by Vlad. Contact Miss Stephanie and send her your email. We'll talk. I understand your situation. We'll try to figure something out. No alternate bat. Why do you see the software generating an alternate bat on DraftKings? What's the software doing? Again, if you want to learn, you want to draw by hand, go for it. But you have to get with the software because the algorithms that we're generating, the levels we're generating, it doesn't take long for you to see how many of these are sticking on the money. And with HSI, that's been the advancement. The software, these books were written 15 years ago, folks. The advancements that I have made in the technology of harmonic patterns is all in the software. And everybody that is with the program sees what's going on here. All right, and so put that in your hat for DraftKings, and let's see if this does come back. What's that exact level? 1358. I would say 1358 before 21 for sure. You're at 17 now. That's the framework in action. You have to go type 1 reaction, back down type 2 reversal. I mean, that's why I did the volume 3 book. I would have never done that book if I didn't have new things to share and to complement the software, because the whole framework, I mean, I've talked about it in volume 2 and explained the basic targets in volume 1, but the volume 3 puts it together, and that's where you get it. You go here, become a basic member, and get volume 3. I mean, download these. I give them away every Thursday. So if you didn't win one today, come on back next Thursday, try to win one. But here it is. Volume 3. Get that and review it. Everyone, please take the time. Go through. As I said, you don't have to be a reader, but you can look at the charts. You can look at the examples, and then you can apply them to the immediate conditions and situations that we're looking at that happen over and over again. A lot of that was done manually on that book. That was done on Harmonic Analyzer, which is amazing. So take a look at all that information. Super relevant. All right. Really quick. Time to give away the software. So the first person to type in HPC 90, you win a 90-day trial to any of them. HPC 90. Guys, HPC 90. That's what I need to see. Evan Casey wins. Thank you. I had to make it a little tricky. Evan Casey wins a 90-day trial to whatever one you want. Set up Miss Stephanie. I got to give, maybe let's do that. Let's do that Thursday's giveaway day. So some of you folks that aren't able to get on it for whatever financial reasons, look, I want to help you out. We'll figure out a solution, but we'll give away more of these every Thursday. So come on back next Thursday. Come on back Monday. We're here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 12 noon Eastern. Great session, folks. You guys made it great. Everyone, I want you to have a great weekend. Enjoy this summer. We're going to have a lot of work ahead of us come the fall. But until then, as always, go get them. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Thanks.